Well, opening statements begin today in the triple murder trial of Chad Daybell. The 55-year-old is charged with killing his wife and his then-girlfriend, Lori Vallow Daybell's two young children, 7-year-old Joshua J.J. Vallow and 16-year-old Tylee Ryan in 2019. Vallow Daybell received a life sentence without parole for those killings, but Daybell has pleaded not guilty to murder, conspiracy, and insurance fraud charges in those deaths. Prosecutors say Daybell justified the killings with doomsday beliefs and called the children zombies. Let's bring in ABC News legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer. So, Brian, Daybell has pleaded not guilty to all of these charges. What can we expect to hear today?
Well, yesterday we saw a jury impaneled of 10 men and 8 women. Today we're expecting to see opening statements from both the prosecution and the defense. Likely the prosecution outlining an exact same case we saw in the Lori Daybell case, where they basically said that these two people, Lori and Chad, are responsible for the deaths of Lori's children, and that Chad Daybell is responsible for his former wife's death. In the defense, they're going to make the argument, I believe, that the evidence suggests that Lori Vallow Daybell is the actual culprit here, and that Chad was just along for the ride, and that the prosecution can't make their case.
So, Brian, prosecutors also say that Daybell made doomsday claims justifying these killings. What can you tell us about his defense here?
Yeah, so the defense, I think, is going to go with the idea of, hey, he might be a little bizarre, he might be a little wonky to some people's beliefs, but he's not a murderer. The kind of the argument that a lot of defense attorneys make, that his hands may be dirty, but not bloody. I think it's ultimately going to come down to an issue of, you can't prove this case beyond a reasonable doubt. Yes, the children's bodies were found on his property. Yes, it took 2 examinations for the prosecutor to ultimately believe that Tammy Daybell was murdered through asphyxiation and not through natural causes. And I think the defense is going to try to poke holes in that as well.
So bottom line here, what are prosecutors seeking in this case?
Prosecutors are seeking the death penalty, which is very different than Lori Vallow Daybell, where they only were seeking the life without the possibility of parole and got that for consecutive sentences. Here, we're expecting a 10-week-long trial, a little longer than that of Lori Daybell's trial, because of that death penalty aspect of it. And so the prosecutors are hoping to put Chad Daybell to death after finding him guilty in the guilt phase of this trial.
ABC News legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer. Brian, thank you.